be there.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. Hey, how you guys doing out here?
Come on, man.
Yep. Hey, how you guys doing out there? It's James Humphrey with another episode of Real Talk with Real Men. I got my co-host with me, Kyle Stanley. In today's episode, we're doing personal and physical health.
Yes, sir.
Mental and physical. I think I'm still struggling to lose.
What's that weighing? Which one?
I think I'm still struggling to lose like 20 pounds or something like that. Okay. So I'm back in the gym. I'm back in the gym.
That is progress.
On a regular basis.
Motion. Yeah.
I just don't work out hard.
Okay.
So if anything, I more or less try to train my mind to say, hey, go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And I learned this technique a while ago where you just want to go to the gym and just kind of breathe the atmosphere, just get used to going to the gym, and then you kind of build up to going whatever. Because if you go into the gym that first day, you go in hard, and then your muscles are hurting and everything. You're like, I don't want to go the next day. But if I go in there, right now I'm just doing a really good bench press. Okay. You know, so I'm in there, I do like a really good bench press. I get like my 3 sets in, kind of max out a little bit, and then that's it. You know, if I do anything more, I'm like, I'm not gonna feel like going in the next day. But then if I build up, right now it's been 2 months now. Yeah. You know, so started out with
how many times a week?
Every day.
What?
Every single day.
Nice.
Every single day. So it's not like I do this one day and I do this one day and do this one day. I do it every single day for 5 to 10 minutes. You know, I'm in the gym. So that's my physical health, but I'm still struggling on the eating thing.
Okay, and so, that is an everlasting problem, perpetual problem.
And I'm not gonna blame the kids, but I'm blaming the kids.
No, you can't. You dictate what they eat, so you by default are responsible.
I know, man, but they're like, Dad, let's get some snacks, let's get this, let's get that. And they know I love.
You gotta put the brakes on.
You know, I love this. I have
trouble with that as well.
And then my kids are very they're so nice and loving. So it's like I'll buy something for them, and they're like, "Daddy, here." It's like, "Oh, I'm good." And they want to feel the serotonin or the dopamine of doing something nice. You know,
so they give it back to you.
Something. It's like, "Hey, Daddy." And
you can't be rude and
not
accept it.
Okay. You know what I mean? Type shit.
Okay.
But then I just don't have jobs that aren't physical anymore.
Okay, yeah, that's a big contributor to.
So I don't do the warehouse jobs. I'm a Lyft driver. Mm-hmm. You know, I carry the film equipment shit. But that's it, man.
Okay. But shit, as long as you're going to the gym, bro, that's having your mind in the right place. Mm-hmm. You know, being conscious of it and actually working on it, and that's what you would want to do, and what I would recommend for anyone to do is actively work on as small as you have to start. Start small. Half push-ups or a couple jumping jacks, shit, lifting whatever you have around the house. For physical fitness, wherever you need to start there. Don't be insecure about it and, you know, shame yourself about I haven't made the progress or I'm not where I think I should be, or compare yourself to others. Man, it's your body, so you against you, and take your time with it because you don't want to overexert and hurt yourself. So take care of your body, man. It's your only one vessel you have for this ride, so very important.
Mental health.
Yeah, now that's woo.
that's a different story. Man, supposedly working out your body works out your mental, but then, like, what does real men do to recharge their batteries?
Man, to recharge the batteries, I value a good, genuine conversation.
Okay.
I like to chill out for a minute, and I don't really drink too much. I do smoke weed, but it's not necessary to talk to whoever or connect with whoever's in the room. Mm-hmm. But if we can open up and talk about a real subject, really break down something and be genuine and honest about it, that really releases a lot of pressure for me and kind of gets me to a point of being able to iron out some of the things that I've been going over in my head, and maybe putting that on the table for someone else to give me some perspective on, like, hey, what do you think about this type stuff? And make decisions a little bit, you know, easier for myself and whatever I'm going through personally at the time. So I definitely value having conversation with people. That has been my best therapy.
I can most definitely agree with that, but then for me, it's most definitely like a creative zen for me. So like my most therapeutic I guess outlook is when I'm putting pen to paper.
Okay.
When I'm on the drawing board and I'm creating something, I'm doing something, like I like my models and everything like that, model planes and trains and all that stuff, cars and stuff.
Okay.
So if I'm doing something with my hands, but then if I'm in my creative mode where I'm building something, putting pen to paper, writing a screenplay, something like that, is most definitely the most therapeutic for me, because then I'm not thinking about any other shit that's going on but the movie or the task at hand. So anything that I'm doing that's passing the time to where I don't have to think about the stuff that that's going on. I used to do walks, so I'll do a really, really long walk.
Yeah.
But then that got to the point to where it's like I'll walk far enough somewhere and I have to walk back, and I'm like, all right, I gotta walk back to that damn problem.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Type shit.
Yeah, truly.
So I had to get out of that headspace of doing that.
Okay.
I do like the company of a good friend.
Yeah.
Having a good conversation about just shit that's just going on.
Yeah. That really helps me. Before I had conversation, before I was confident in my conversation skills, it was music, man.
There you go.
Felt like I grew up only child till I was 8, and then my younger sister came along, and then I have a younger brother. By the time I was 13, I had a younger brother, so I was kind of still stuck in that only child mindset, even though I had younger siblings later on in life. And not having people to talk to when your intimate moments, like at night before you go to sleep and shit, or in the times where you're at home by yourself, or various places where you might have a brother or a cousin or a friend or whoever the hell they interact with. I was just in my head, so I would listen to music, bro. I would listen to whatever songs that would have good lyrics and describe some shit that I was familiar with, some stuff that I could relate to. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna vibe with this, and then shit, just some upbeat stuff. All the old school shit that the OGs love. So that really was therapeutic for me, to just relax, unwind, and have something to myself for myself. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to serve or please anyone else. You know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of time just trying to fit in and be quiet type shit, just to avoid attention, because most of the time it was negative attention. So it's just like, nah, let me just figure out how to not get in trouble, I would say. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of conform to that box of shit, don't do this, don't do that. So I'm a wild, bubbling kid inside, but shit, I'm just sitting here quiet when I have to be on point for wherever the fuck we're going with parents and shit like that back in the day. So it's just like, if I could get a Walkman, if I could get a CD player, I'm cool. That was my release, bro. I ran through millions of batteries. You know what I'm saying? Like, that became addiction.
I guess, did you grow up in an apartment or a house?
We were in houses, townhouses, apartments, but it was always a temporary situation or like a rental situation.
So I guess I grew up in the same house I lived in since I was 2, before I was 18. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, I moved probably about 5 times.
No. So mowing the grass was big for me. So mowing the grass, I got get a walk bin. I'll mow the grass. It could take me 20 minutes or it could take me an hour, depending on how I felt, whatever.
Yeah.
But that, for whatever reason, man, I don't know what it is with mowing grass.
Yeah.
Having that nice smell of grass when you fresh cut that shit.
It's a moment alone.
You know what I mean?
Because you got the buzz of that lawnmower, so you ain't really got nothing around you to distract you.
Yeah,
just that lawnmower.
And you just in the zone. You know what I mean?
I cut grass actively. I several yards and maintain and shit, so I'm always cutting grass. So yes, I totally relate to that. I grew up fishing, so I got connection to the water, bro. If I could be around any kind of water and watch water for maybe 10, 15 minutes and shit, that is like a reset for the internal stress.
Okay.
I love bodies of water, or watching water, flowing water, fountains and shit like that. So that's something that's very relaxing for me.
I didn't start fishing till I was like 16.
Yeah.
16 was the first time I went fishing.
Yeah.
And it was like the worst experience of my life. I hated it.
Man.
Yeah, I hated it.
So you wouldn't do it now?
Nah, I hate fishing.
Damn.
And then I hate
to love it so much, and then to hear you say that, you'd be like, damn, who fucked it up for you?
Well,
Damn.
my uncle took me and my sister fishing, and like I said, I was 16, so it wasn't like
what you wanted to do at the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like at 16, I'm like, I just want to be at home and play Halo, you know what I'm saying? And so what ended up happening was I catch a fish, you know, and then we had to pull the thing out of it, throw the fish back in there. But my uncle kept yelling at me because I was like tossing the shit out of this fish in the water. I guess he wasn't supposed to do that or something. I was like, I was taking this fish, and they were, you know what I mean? Or I'll take it. Kyle, look at me. I'll take a fish, and I was launched this motherfucker, and he was like, boy, stop throwing the fish in the water. Place the fish in the water. And I was like, dude, I don't give a shit about these fish. I don't want to be here. Because we were fishing at his lake.
I couldn't imagine that shit. I've never seen somebody do that. So that is amazing. I would love to have seen that.
Yeah, I was. Damn. You seen the Napoleon Dynamite, right?
Damn, yes.
When the uncle would throw his steak or throw the football and that slide shit, I was
winging that bitch. That's hilarious, bro. I would have never thought. I would have never fucking thought you would say that.
Yeah, but anyway, so I never really got into like things like fishing or outdoors camping.
Okay.
Cars or anything like that. You know, I didn't know how to like fix shit. All right. You know, I was always like playing video games, man. I was like at that time and age, playing video games was therapeutic to me.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to think. Or here's a question. Here's a question. When should a man, you know, say, "Hey, it's getting bad"? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like for me,
self-awareness.
Yeah. Like for me, when I couldn't like, you know, tie my shoes or whatever, or put my socks on, I was like, you know, trying to do this shit. I'm like, maybe I need to stretch a little bit. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's when
anytime you face a little difficulty with mobility. And
you know what I mean?
Around.
Pants was getting a little tighter. It's like, okay, I need to fix that shit.
For me, I fluctuate. I'm probably about 203, 205 pounds, and I feel great. I feel comfortable right now at 203, but I've always struggled with feeling comfortable in my weight. Okay. I've always been a chubby kid or on the chubbier side, but I've never been too husky or fat. So like I've been like intermediately overweightish kind of. And I buy clothes that fit the bigger me, then I lose weight, and then I'm like down to a size 34 waist, coming from like 38, 40.
Okay. Wow.
So then I go down to small clothes and like, you know, fitted shit. You know, when the trend, more fitted clothing became popular, I buy shit down there, and then I gain 15, 20 pounds, and bro, I can't fit that shit. It's all uncomfortable. So it's just like, I got so damn tired of buying 2 different sizes of clothes for fucking Professor Clump and fucking Eddie that it's just like giving up and trying to be in the middle, and now I just dress for motherfucking comfort, honestly. So it's just, when I have the opportunity, when I don't have to be somewhere for presentation, it's going to be comfort. If I have the option to, it's going to be comfort. So if you're feeling restricted, I know I have to go to the chiropractor right now because I got a little pain in my neck, a little tension that I need some release on because I can't turn like I did. And that's because of work, you know, different work-related injury and shit like that. So be real about the shit, be honest, and if you're feeling like something isn't right, or hey, it's getting hard for me to do these regular activities, yeah, start taking steps to get healthy. Shit. Also, check into your nutrition with, you know, vitamins and minerals, because you could be vitamin deficient and different things like that, causing different pains and ailments. So brushing up on knowledge of that is very important.
It's most definitely true that you become what you eat.
Yes. Yeah. You have to be knowledgeable of what you eat and what you're putting into yourself.
Man, I eat a lot of candy.
And I'm very happy that it seems like our society right now is becoming more conscious or conscientious of that.
I think we're still obese, man.
I think
we're still the fattest country.
We're obese, but we have fucking tools and utilities to help us more prevalent in our market now. Like, different apps, different fucking training apps, different athletic apps.
Yeah.
There's so much help to independently help you if you don't have a fucking personal trainer or a coach. You can do so many things independently to be health conscious. I use this app called Yuka, and I scan you like groceries or different things that you would
you were telling
consume.
me about that.
And it gives it like a rating, one out of 100, and 100 being the best.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you what harmful chemicals or things like that are in certain products and shit like that.
I'm starting to hear.
I love it.
I'm starting to hear like Great Value products are not like
Okay.
legit. Like the Walmart products, the Great Value Walmart products and stuff aren't legit. I heard like a TikTok.
Right.
No less.
However true that is.
Yeah, how they're, if you read the ingredients of like the Great Value products that you buy, like some of the ingredients are kind of like off the wall. Like, why the hell would that shit be in this? You know what I mean? And I tested the theory out. It's like, hey, why the fuck is anchovies in syrup? Like, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be more, especially with the kids, I'm trying to be more wary on the stuff that I buy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Compared to the stuff that I used to buy, because usually, you know, you buy the cheapest shit that you can afford. You know what I mean? But actually, when you spend a little money, just not a lot, but a little money on the more expensive
Wherever
stuff,
you
know, it pays out a lot more in the long run.
Yeah.
You know, I found out that apples, obviously they have like the growth hormones and stuff in apples and stuff, but then they have preservatives in apples. Like the apples that you buy on the shelf has been like in the freezer somewhere for like 6 or 7 months. Yeah.
Really? What?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Yeah, so if a good test to it is like if you bite an apple and if it doesn't decay like immediately, then that apple is like has preservatives in it. Like it's been somewhere for like a half a year.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I need to start shopping at the River Market where you get apples
That
right out of somebody's backyard.
man.
You know what I mean? Like for me, like it's like I don't trust like big fruit, man.
Yeah.
Like ever since like the whole growth hormone with chicken and all that stuff. Like if you see like a really big watermelon or something like that, it's like what they put in the watermelon, right? It's so big, you know what I mean? Exactly. I'll eat the little apples compared to eating like the really big apples.
Hell yeah,
it looks really size. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Could have been audited and edited some way.
And I'm trying not to get too much into it, because if I read or get too much into it, then I'm going to be all over the place.
Deep
like
in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, my mind's going to be all over the place.
But man, it's like some shit you just can't ignore. So it's like, where do you draw the line on? Is this important enough to change something about my lifestyle, or is this something that I can disregard? And I ask myself that constantly, daily. I love cooking, so I'm always thinking about what's the best shit I can go get, what to put in my son, because once you start taking care of a child, it's more about their nutrition than anything. Like, I'll eat garbage, but I want to feed him the best shit I can. And, you know, watching his stool and urination and, like, you know, making sure he's healthy, it's like, oh, yeah. And if I'm taking care of him that way, then I need to take care of myself as well, so.
Did you ever go through the trouble of the baby formula shortage?
No.
Where, well, I guess he's 3, right?
Yeah,
you know, he's about the same age as Addie, because I didn't go through it either.
Past formula right after, you know, it got tight, you know, after that first swarm of COVID. So he was okay on that.
And I was thinking, like, how do you even make baby formula for them to be a shortage of it? You know what I mean? Like, wait, what stuff are they putting in the formula to where they ain't got enough of it? You know?
The shit that is the eyebrow raiser for me was the vaccination being readily available so quick and for free. It's like, damn, you don't get anything for free, but we'll give you this shit for free real fast.
What's even more, I guess, fucked up is that it was ready, free, whatever, but then city employees, it was mandatory for city employees to take it. So if you were like fire, police,
the first guinea pigs and test pilots,
hospital nurses, doctors, whatever, they were mandatory that you have to take it to even work there. So I'm like, that's kind of, you know, it's against the Constitution for anything for vaccinations to be mandatory, but then they're making it mandatory for city employees. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of, you know, and then
not right,
and then you hear all the health issues, you know. And I'm trying not to dive too much into the conspiracy theories of it, But you know, you got all the different health issues with people taking the vaccination and people getting sick and dying and all this other stuff. But then you also gotta on the other side of that, you have the COVID virus, where they had so many people dying from so many different things and all this other nature. So it's like, who do you trust? Who do you not trust? Who do you listen to? Who do you not listen to? What to believe? What do you don't believe? You know,
I like to do the best I can for myself as an independent free thinker.
There you go.
I try and find the best food from the best sources I can within my community, which is finding some organic shit with, you know, your produce, and finding different products that are, if they are processed, maybe they're processed with the best ingredients. You know, things like that, and watching your, you know, your bad food, your indulgent food intake. You know, I like ice cream, cookies, brownies, and all that shit. I love it. I love sweets. I love sugar. I gotta watch that shit and limit that shit. Just like telling the babies no and limiting their candy. You got to, bro, because I'm seeing the effects of it on my older generation as my grandparents are getting old, bro.
Does diabetes run in your family?
My grandfather has diabetes. My grandmother has gout, has had 2 heart attacks, kind of shit like that. And it's just like, another grandmother, arthritis and fucking glaucoma and asthma, a lot of shit. So you see your older generation start to fall apart, bro. You just like, God damn, I'm tired of fucking coming down to the hospital to see you laid here, unable to take care of yourself and not knowing when is that call gonna be the last call type shit. I got tired of being in that position, and it's just like, bro, I don't want to do that to my family or anyone I care about, bro. So whatever I can do right now, I feel responsible to do. I feel responsible to do that, to make it that much easier on the next person and prolong my life. I want to give myself to my grandchildren. I want to be alive to see grandchildren and so on and so forth. So I dedicate myself to things like that. Like doing the work now because I know it's going to pay out dividends later.
Let's talk about mental health.
Yeah.
For the fellas, us men. Because you know we going through it. Somebody's already been through it. Somebody's about to go through it now.
True.
As a real man, when do you tell somebody like, "Hey, I need some help," or "Shit ain't going right," or
tell somebody and reach outside yourself to get help with whatever your situation is before you hurt yourself, hurt someone else, or feel like you're going to totally lose control in some kind of way. Whether it be, I'm going to motherfucking have a fit and beat the shit out of this person. I'm going to have a fit and break a wall, break a door. I'm going to have a fit and wreck this car or do some shit. When you feel like that and you feel like, damn, I felt like this for a while, or I felt like this repeatedly, recurringly, this situation makes me feel like this often. Once you start to recognize the pattern of, damn, I'm like this too often and I don't like this, you need to reach outside yourself and get some help, because whatever you're doing is leading you back to the same fit of frustration. So whatever tools you're using to cope, whether it be cigarettes, leaving, alcohol, whatever other drugs, whatever you want to do, it's not alleviating you from that stress that causes you to feel like you're going to lose control. So whatever that is, you need help identifying what it is. You need help identifying what are the causes, what are you doing to put yourself in those positions, and you need help trying to get out of that. Seeing things from a different perspective from someone that has a little more knowledge into behavioral studies than you know, things like that. Being open to learning, being able to admit, I'm not perfect, and I don't think that I'm perfect, and I'm not worried about someone seeing that I'm imperfect. That's a big thing. Like, you kind of don't want to say anything because you don't want to admit to someone else, hey man, I can't handle this shit. I really can't even fucking figure this shit out right now, bro. You think I'm a big man standing on my own 2 feet, but honestly, I don't know what the fuck to do. That's hard to say.
Yeah, it is.
That's hard to say. That's hard to admit. That's hard to, you know, break down and do. But when you release and let go of shit like that, you release so much burden, so much, I would say, unnecessary hurlage that would be in your way, that is impeding you from whatever is on the other side, which would be your success and relief of whatever your situation is. You relieve so much of that bullshit and blockage when you just break down and admit, I need help. Because in that way, people can motherfucking come in, hear your call, and hopefully the right people come in with the right assistance, the right advice, the right direction, and get you going.
I want to say that's probably the hardest part, is like finding the right person to get to.
Okay.
You know, because everybody's going through, you know, something. Everybody's going through their own thing, whatever. So, you know, it's kind of hard to ask someone for help when you know, you don't know if they need help themselves or they're going through something, their own shit. You know what I mean?
I have to test the waters. You just put a little bit of yourself out there. I try not to overshare or divulge too much of my personal to any one person, but I do put subtle things out there to like, hey, this is something that's really weighing heavy on me. How do you feel about that? You know, and if I can get a response of some substance, some real consideration, or, you know, just a quick nonchalant response or whatever, I take tally of that. Okay, you really gave me some consideration, you really gave me some insightful input. I value that. I appreciate you telling me that, because that helps me make my decision. Or it really wasn't useful helping you or talking to you, so next time I have some shit that's important, I know not to come to you with that type of conversation.
That was my biggest thing.
You know what I'm saying? You just have to test the waters, and everyone's going to be different. There are people that you feel should be your shoulder to lean on, and I had to learn that for real. Like, that was a big thing for me to learn. Like, people that you feel or you have, I guess, an obligation or a thought of they should be obligated to do that, or I don't say, maybe like a responsibility. I don't know how I want to word it. A responsibility to, I guess, feel or help you in a certain situation, or they should feel a certain way because it's fucking you up type shit. Like, if you're my friend, why wouldn't you help me through this shit? If you're my XYZ, why wouldn't you want to help me with this type of shit? And then I had to realize people have their own lives, and they really don't put the same value and weight on the shit that's important to you as you would to them or whatnot. So you kind of have to pull yourself back and be like, okay, I can't be so dependent on this person for assistance or help or input or whatever. I got to kind of find other resources to help myself out.
I'm trying to see if I want to word it right. I want to say one of the biggest ways you could figure out if someone is on your side or not is if they'll listen to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of situations where what you're talking about is like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you about a problem.
Yeah.
And the first thing I want to do is kind of derail the conversation. Is like, hey, okay, oh man, I've been through that whole situation. I'm going through a situation right now where I'm blah 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Right. I came to you to talk about the issue
and
I'm going through.
I told you the whole embodiment of my situation.
And then all of a sudden, I'm playing therapist to you. You know, you have to, I guess, more or less surround yourself around people that's like, hey, you're going through something. You know, and I'm going through something too, but I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to listen to you.
Right.
And if you can listen to me, that's great, but it's about you right now. It's not about me. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's very important. That's a very important factor as well.
For me, I had to really test this out. Like, I had to talk to some people. It's like, okay, talking to you is not helping, so I'm not going to talk to you. I'm gonna see what you got. You ain't helping either because you're talking about some other shit, so I'm not going to talk to you.
Yes.
And then when I talk to this person, I was like, okay, you're actually listening, which is odd for me. It's like, okay, I'm waiting for you to derail, but you're not derailing. You're actually listening.
You're not changing subject.
You know, let me pour some more, whatever. And he's like, okay, well, that's some good advice. So you're my go-to guy. I'm gonna come to you
for this
and solely you for these antics or whatever I got myself into. But I'd say that's the biggest thing. You have to figure out who's going to listen and not who's going to derail.
Discernment.
Yeah.
With venting and talking and seeking advice.
Yeah, at least that's a big one for me anyway.
Yes. You don't blab your whole bit. This is most important. Don't tell and overshare your business to every goddamn body, because I feel like people in the workplace go way too deep and share so much shit that they don't really need to talk about with people who could care less.
And then
and you'd be like, why the fuck did you say this shit? We don't.
You feel for these people because obviously they're sharing this information with you because they need somebody to talk to. But you're not that guy though.
It's not the time, place,
you know what I mean?
We're not familiar, and
it's
you
like
haven't introduced it in the right way.
You clearly need some help, but I'm not that guy. And I'm okay with admitting that because I don't like derailing conversations.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you like, hey, I'm not that guy.
Right.
Like,
I can't
you need to talk to somebody else.
Yeah, I can't help you with that one.
That's a new one for me.
But yeah, and it may not even be, pressing situations.
Yeah.
I just mean oversharing in the aspect of privacy. Like, I'm not going to tell you something about a private part or something sexual encounter or some shit like that if I don't fucking know you longer than 5 minutes, or I only seen your face 2 times yesterday. Like, people will come up to me. I feel like it happens a lot because I'm a nice guy. I'm polite. These motherfuckers will tell me so much shit I don't need to hear.
Here's a question: how often do you see these people?
It would be people that I see in common places, work areas, and things like that.
I say that because
frequenting stores or
because
whatever it'll be.
Me as a Lyft driver, I get some weird shit in my back seat, but I know I'm probably never going to see these people ever again. Although I do get a lot of repeats. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, remember our conversation we had like a week ago when you were going through that thing? How's that going? And they'll continue the conversation out again.
No, that's cool.
What I mean? But I understand where, it can be a complete stranger, and people actually feel more comfortable talking to a complete stranger.
Yeah,
compared
you don't have to deal with their judgment later.
Yeah, they just need to get that out there. You know what I mean?
Get that.
That's why people go into bars, they'll cry to their bartender, they'll cry to their...
I feel like I got that face that just crazy
the trainer,
motherfuckers
whatever.
come talk to me.
Yeah.
They find me and they come talk. If me and you are standing there, they'll come talk to me.
They're looking for you at the grocery store. Like, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, bro, you got a cigarette? I'm like, nah, dog, I don't look like I smoke. I ain't smoking the tire. I don't smoke. Nah, I don't smoke, bro. Oh, well, shit, man. I was just going, fuck. You mind if I sit with you, bro? Shit, I've been out here for like 45 minutes, man. I've been looking for my fucking girlfriend, bro. She left. You like, bro, I didn't ask you shit. I didn't ask you any of this. I was trying to chill, talk to my man right here. And now I got to deal with your situation. Like, man, goddamn, please get away from me.
Oh man, it happens, man.
Yes. But mental health, it's finding people to talk to, finding the right people to talk to, taking that inventory, that self-awareness, and checking before you get too deep of about to lose control or lose yourself or hurt someone. Seek help, get help.
Mm-hmm.
And just be honest, speak honestly.
Yeah.
Don't say your elbow hurts if it's really your knee.
Don't sugarcoat it either.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of talking to other people and their problems is they don't really say what the true problem is. It's like, I'm insecure about this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But I fix it with buying expensive clothes and wearing makeup or doing this type of shit. It's like, okay, well, buying expensive clothes and the makeup isn't really your problem. You need to work on the reason why you're insecure. Mm-hmm. Work on the reason why you're insecure. Why are you insecure? Because of I might have some acne, or I have a couple bumps, or I'm overweight. I'm not the weight that I feel like I should be. Mm-hmm. Okay, well then when you start to work on that, then you start working on your health and fitness. So, you know what I'm saying? You can start off with, okay, I shop too much and I spend too much money on clothes and makeup and this, the other, but really what you need to work on is health and fitness, a natural diet to cleanse your face and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the real resolutions to your problem rather than surface band-aid things.
I like the way that you stated getting straight to the problem and trying to fix it compared to covering it up with something else. Well, I think a lot of people do that with their mental health, where they have an issue with their weight, but they don't want to get on a weight program or anything like that. They want to do something else to compensate for that issue.
Right.
And I think a lot of men do that as well when it comes to, either playing video games or masking, whatever they're masking, to cover up what the real issue is and not tackling that as a whole. I think one of the biggest things when it comes to mental health itself is stating what the hell is the problem.
Yes.
And fixing the problem instead of going around
the
it.
problem and work on it. Don't say the elbow hurts when it's really the leg. I work on that with my son and things. He'll say this is the problem, but it's like, what really is going on? Like, how do I fix your temper tantrum right now? What do you? Oh, you're actually hungry. It's not that you want this and that, and you upset because I turned off your cartoon. Yeah. It's really because you're hungry and you want to go to sleep. That's all. Okay, I got it.
Well, that's
so we can really fix the real problems once we know what's going on. Right. So applying that to adults, you're just like, okay. You might be pissed off now, and it's because, I might have cut you off going here or there, but you really upset about some shit you got going on back home. Mm-hmm. You upset about some stuff between you and your wife, you and your girl, you and your family and shit, and now you coming in here to work and you pissed off. You don't like that I set my water bottle right here. Mm-hmm. You ain't mad at me, bro. I forgive you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can see that now with a little more tolerance and temperance from being a father for a few years and having to be tranquil, trying to channel tranquility in those moments when chaos is brewing. He's throwing a fit, it's hot, and you're trying to fucking figure shit out. It's just like, okay, I can't respond with your equal level of intensity and anger, so let me approach it from this way. And applying that to adults, man, you can really diffuse a motherfucker that's wound up. You're like, man, you ain't really mad, bro. What's really going on?
Call her up and just apologize.
Right. What was it really? You know what I'm saying? What really happened?
I think I'll go ahead and end it.
Okay.
I'm not sure what we're talking about. Go ahead and end the episode there. My co-host, Kyle.
Yo.
Me, James. This is another episode of Real Talk with Real Men. See you guys next week.
Take it easy.
Yeah. I only got the story is resonating in my mind. I have to tell it. The story of Joe. I met Joe on 3 different occasions while driving him. First occasion, picked him up at a bar. I was supposed to be driving him to his girl's at a different bar. He's a lawyer, very distinguished. I'm assuming he makes a lot of money, that type shit. And he's telling me the story about how he's with this girl. He got with this girl because he was banging her sister, and her sister was the one that hooked them 2 up, which is a little odd for me, but whatever. Okay. And here's the funny part. I had a box of chocolates that I was eating. Because I guess him and his girl got into it. It's like he didn't want to go to the bar. He wanted to go somewhere else, whatever. I guess this girl was bitching at him about hanging out with the guys or something like that. And I had a box of chocolates with me. And this is literally when I was like at my biggest. I was like, I don't want to eat this box of chocolate, man. I'm only eating this shit because I'm feeling bad about my weight and all this other stuff. So I'm like, here, Joe, man. Get this box of chocolates to your girl. Just say you ate a few pieces and just make up with her, dog. Just let it go, man. Right. And that's exactly what he did. Like, he took the box of chocolates, dropped him off where he was, and I thought that was the end of it. You know what I mean? Whatever. I picked him up again.
That's dope.
About 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Gets in the car. He's drunk off his ass. You know what I mean? And I'm like, did I give you the box of chocolates, man? It's like, yeah, that was, yo. Like, how'd that go, man? It's like, I went well, man. I went well. We fighting again though, and then and so now he's telling
chocolate.
Yeah, now he's telling me the story of how him and his girl they moved in together. So I'm like, okay, cool. You and your girl made up, whatever. You guys are going steady, whatever. But now he's like, oh well, she's always on my case about going out all the time, hanging out with my friends, and I can't breathe, I can't do this, I can't do that, man. Whatever, blah that. I'm like, oh, well, Joe, I don't know what to do about that, man. But the only thing I can tell you is that if she moved in, that she must mean something special to you. Yeah. So try to work what you can work and, job this, job that, or you just get rid of her, Yeah. You're dating a girl that is the sister of the girl that you used to have casual sex with, who's not the mother of your daughter now. So I'm like, you know what I mean? You're going through it. I understand that, but, make a choice, kind of one of those things. That's my advice. That was my advice to him.
All right.
Got out of the car, left him there, whatever. That was the end of that conversation there.
Joe coming back around.
Fast forward another 2 or 3 weeks later, I pick him up from another bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Joe, how's it going, man? How's that conversation with your girl? Oh, man, it went good, man. It went good, man. She's pregnant. And so here's the situation now. Is Joe was out hanging out with his Joe was out hanging out with his boys at this one bar. So now he's going to another bar. And the thing is, he's going to that bar to drink for his girl because he don't want people to know that she's pregnant. You know, so it's kind of where nobody knows about it, whatever. I guess he has a pretty tight crew, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and so we're talking a little bit, whatever. I drop him off, but now when I drop him off this third time, I finally realized, like, every time I pick this dude up, it gets worse and worse and worse for Joe. Like, at first he was just a dude, you know, whatever. Then he got a girl now, he moved in, whatever. Now he's got a girl pregnant, whatever. And now I'm just waiting to pick him up from the wedding or something to say he's skipping out on a bride or some shit, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's wild.
That's the story of Joe,
That's a
man.
pretty amazing encounters.
And it's strange how when I do my lifting and I have regular customers like that.
Yeah.
Like, this was 3 encounters.
Yeah.
In like the last, 3 or 4 months at different spots. So it's not like I'm picking them up from the same location. I'm picking up at different spots all over the city.
Yeah.
And every time it's like,
you motherfucker.
I gotta stop picking this dude up, man.
Man, I like the conversation in like a Lyft or Uber. I remember the last one I had. I was headed out of town to Mississippi, and I was getting a ride to KCI.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, it stuck out to me because the guy immediately started talking to me about his wife and how his wife was attractive. He asked me about New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, nah, I've never even been there or anything. And he's like, oh, man, you ever go down there? I'm like, nah, I've never been there. He's like, oh, man, I want to go. I want to go down there to that Mardi Gras, but, man, my wife, she's got big titties, and I'm jealous, so I don't know how that's going to work out. And these are like the first few sentences. That's how I say people overshare so much shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, bro, I don't need to know all that. But then he's pulling out phone. He's showing me pictures of his wife, and then he's like, man, and his sister's beautiful too, and she's dating this asshole that, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't want to, do right by her. So blah blah blah, and this that. I'm like, kind of like shuffling to me. I'm like, a guy that just sat in your fucking back seat.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, do people really just have this much trust in complete strangers to, hey, this is what my wife looks like. She has huge titties. I want to go to New Orleans with her, but I'm jealous, and I know she loves it. She likes to show off. He's like, yeah, I know she'd pull him out. I'm like, bro, really? Okay.
Yeah.
On my morning headed to Mississippi, but okay, thank you.
It's strange how
like, goddamn.
It's strange how people could get so comfortable with people they don't know.
It was wild.
You know what I mean?
I was like, okay, bro. I hear
like
you.
it's very.
And he kind of looked like Crocodile Dundee, like with the brim hat and kind of flipped up around the edges with like a leather band around it.
Mm-hmm.
Shirt unbuttoned in the front, and this is at 5 a.m, bro. So I was just like, damn, bro, you've been out all night. It feel like you've been out all night on the way.
Those are my hours where I'm driving around.
Boy, yeah, that shit is interesting.
Yeah.
They tell me about the motherfuckers that shit in their car and have thrown up in their car. Like, oh, fuck nah.
I haven't had one of those. I have somebody thrown up on the side of my car, but not inside yet. So keeping my fingers crossed on that part. Like
with that rumble.
Yeah. Just go ahead and get
trying to avoid this tornado.
Yeah.